You are listening to the Join the Journey podcast with Liz Brashears, episode 9.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life, bigger than the world.
Welcome to the Join the Journey podcast, where it is all about the journey of growth, development, and learning that nothing is out of your reach. Here's your host, Liz Brashears.
Howdy, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great week. Today, we are talking about self-confidence. Self-confidence is extremely important in almost every aspect of our lives. Yet, it seems like so many people struggle to find it. I have to include myself in that mix from time to time. This is one of those topics that I'm hoping that by teaching it, I will gain a greater capacity for it. I would love to tell you that I am a self-confidence expert, but yeah, that just wouldn't be true. I do have a lot of self-confidence in certain areas, but that's the key here. It's in certain areas. My confidence tends to be situation specific. If it is a situation that I've previously encountered success and I don't have any concerns, then it's really easy for me to be confident. However, if it's a new situation that I haven't encountered, then my self-confidence isn't quite so high. And I would bet that many of you feel the same way about how your confidence shows up. In an effort to become your appointed self-confidence expert this week, I Googled, how do I gain more self-confidence? I'm telling you, it was crazy, some of the stuff that came up. And I'm going to tell you, most of it was just plain wrong. There was a lot of lists in there. And one article gave me a long list of all sorts of actions to take to gain more confidence, starting with number 1, groom yourself. Are you kidding me? Really? Groom yourself? Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that. And there was another one that said, pay attention to personal hygiene. Okay, note to self. And the list went on, and it included other actions. Dress nicely, Photoshop your image, stand tall, exercise, get enough sleep, don't slouch, sit up straight, wear nice perfume. Yes, I really did actually read that. Wear nice perfume. I'm not saying that these ideas aren't valuable. I just want to challenge the notion that confidence has to come from outside sources or even specific events. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. But first, why are we even talking about this at all? Why does confidence even matter? I recognize this desire to create more confidence in our lives. I see it in myself. I see it come up a significant amount of times in coaching other people. And in transparency, I do see it more in women, but I also see it pretty consistently in men as well. Nothing is more important than how you feel and think about yourself. The combination of your dreams plus your confidence, these are the building blocks to create the life that you're meant to live. Your level of confidence really determines what actions you take toward the things that you want in your life, and that's why it really matters. We all know people who just seem naturally confident at whatever they do, and we begin to look at confidence as a character trait that we see in others, as if it's something that people are just born with. I genuinely believe that feeling confident is a skill. Despite what I've shared regarding my own confidence around situations, I do genuinely believe that it is a skill. It's something that can be learned, nurtured, and built on. And whether you're working on your own confidence, or perhaps you are a leader or a coach working with others to help them build their confidence, you're going to find that by further developing this skill, it is so worth the effort. It's important to note that self-confidence is not static. It doesn't just stay in one place. It truly is a mindset that takes effort for you to maintain, particularly when the going gets tough. You have to practice it just like you would any other skill. But once you master it, watch out. You could be unstoppable. So if feeling confident is a skill and it doesn't come from sitting up straight and having good hygiene, then where does it come from and how can you develop it? Confidence is always going to come from a place of believing and trusting that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. This has to be true even when we fall short. It's easy to rely on our past accomplishments to be the catalyst for our confidence. But I am here to tell you that it isn't really about what you've actually accomplished. It's not. It's really about the story that you tell yourself about the accomplishment. It's also really easy for some of us to feel confident because of other people's beliefs in us. But our confidence doesn't come from others either. You generate confidence for yourself, and you do that simply by the thoughts that you think and the stories you tell yourself. It's that simple. It's not about dressing well or great perfume. Now, clearly, when we dress well or dress the part, it's easier for us to feel confident, but it really has nothing to do with the clothes. Clothes are just neutral. It's our thoughts about our clothes and our thoughts about how we look that creates the confidence. Confidence has to come from your mind, regardless of what actions you have taken or what experience that you bring to the table. You can decide to believe whatever you want about yourself. So what do you think about yourself? What thoughts do you have when you reflect on your own character, your own abilities? What is your opinion of you? The answers to that should be very revealing and will largely determine how you show up and the level of confidence that you feel. As I was reviewing all of the other lists on the internet, I decided to come up with my own. Apparently, I like giving lists lately. This seems to be a trend here. Today, I have 7 ways to help you start gaining more confidence. 1, practice feeling confident. If you have listened to any of my other podcasts, then you will know that I am a believer in practicing desired emotions. So how do you practice feeling confident? I want you to think of an area where you're not so confident. Have you got it? Now think about what would it take for you to feel confident in that area. Is it gaining knowledge or perhaps more experience? If that's it, then what would the experience give you that you don't already have today? I want you to begin to isolate the thoughts that the experience or knowledge would generate for you. Stay in that mindset and practice what it would be like to feel that. Role play with yourself. Now, I do want to note that in no way am I telling you to fake it. Though I will admit there is some value from time to time in the concept of fake it till you make it. However, fake confidence is not confidence. It's often going to get spotted and be seen as being cocky or being obnoxious. And what I want you to do is I want you to feel it for real by focusing your thoughts and your energy on who you are and that you were created to do great things. 2, know your strengths and weaknesses. Write out a list of all the things that you do well. Celebrate and develop those strengths. By focusing on your strengths, it's going to be much easier for you to have positive thoughts about what you can accomplish. I'm not saying ignore your weaknesses here, but you do want to manage around them so that your focus is on what you do well and that you can put your focus, as well as hopefully the focus of others, on your strengths and the unique value that you bring to the world around you. Number 3, let me introduce you to my lovely friend whose name is Good Enough. Yes, good enough. We have all heard that good is the enemy of great, right? When it comes to self-confidence, you need to throw that baby out with the bathwater. Perfectionism is destructive. It may sound like a good thing, but it's not, and it can way too easily be an excuse for you not to take action. Good enough gets the job done, while perfectionism paralyzes you with the fear of failure. So I encourage you to make good enough a friend of yours too. 4, start managing your mind. I want you to identify any defeating or negative self-talk which can destroy your confidence. You want to quiet the inner critic. We all have an inner critic. Your inner critic may say things like, "You never do anything right." You aren't as smart as your friend or your colleague. You don't have a clue what you're doing, and it's just a matter of time until others recognize it too. You do not have to accept these thoughts. It is a choice. Don't mistake your feelings for facts. Replace those negative thoughts with positive ones and intentionally shift your focus to that which you do well. Number 5, realize that the past does not equal the present. What happened last year or even yesterday, it does not mean that that's what's going to happen tomorrow. Even if you have struggled with feeling confident, that doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. You get to choose. You do. You can change your future and you can change your life. You can let go of previous thoughts that have not served you, and you can choose to think new thoughts. 6, rethink your definition of failure. Embrace setbacks as opportunities and challenges to grow. Overcoming obstacles are going to help you build endurance for your confidence. And every time you encounter an obstacle, think of it like you are picking up a card game or picking up a challenge card, in a card game. Leverage that experience and the wisdom that comes with it to create additional momentum for you to move forward. 7, I think this is an important one. Stop comparing yourself to others. There is no happy outcome when it comes to comparison. Often when we compare ourselves to others, we compare some of the worst aspects of ourselves with some limited knowledge about the best that somebody else has to offer. Additionally, if you find that by comparing yourself to others, you are gaining confidence, then I want you to stop right there. Perhaps you look at a coworker and you think, they're a slacker. Hey, I'm pretty darn good compared to them. Well, friends, if that's your thought, that isn't confidence. That's arrogance. The same is true when we compare our looks to someone else. Well, at least I'm prettier than her, or I'm in better shape than most people my age. If you're finding confidence by making others smaller in your mind, then you've got some work to do, because again, that is not confidence. Others don't have to be wrong for you to be right. I want you to think about that. It might blow your mind a little, and that's okay. You get to be you, and they get to be them. There is beauty in all of us, and none of us has to tear somebody else down in order to build ourselves up. So that completes our list. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I would love to hear from you. If you've got questions about how you can increase your own confidence, email me. I'd love to look at some specifics, and I think sometimes that can be helpful. So you can email me at jointhejourney@lizbrashears.com. All right? So join me next week for, in all transparency, I don't have a clue what we're going to talk about next week. I've got a few ideas rolling around in my head. So stay tuned. Join me next week, same time, same place. Have a great one, everyone. Bye. Hi, friends. If you have enjoyed this podcast, I would love if you would go to iTunes and write me a review. If you're not sure how to do that, an easy way would be to go to your podcast app, click on search, then put in Join the Journey and pull up my podcast. And then you can click up towards the top. You'll see where it says Detail, Reviews, and Related. Click on Reviews, and then you can write a review. Additionally, if you know someone else who would enjoy this podcast or benefit from it, I would love it if you would pass it along. You can also visit me at lizbrashears.com and also email me at jointhejourney@lizbrashears.com. Thanks and have a great week. Bye.